we're just coming back down to where the river is, doing Sandy Bay, what we call it, but we're in the back end of the summer and it's closing in on autumn. Some of the trees are starting to turn, but...
Like, it's obviously nesting season's completely out and like, but...
Aye, need birds' nests on out now.
There's a lot of birds you can hear singing and that.
Aye. There's still a lot of green on the trees.
Nice day actually.
It's a lovely day. We've had some freaky hot weather this September, like, haven't we?
September, like, hasn't it?
I want like the hottest day in September for a good few years, like record breaking or something. Like not the day, but it was last week. That old Rams has been ripped out.
Aye, I think they would have got a fliggy though, wouldn't it?
Aye.
Sledge.
Aye, because they were huge when we seen them, then they were gone.
It was one of the successful ones.
Aye. Been on the river, surprised no got it. It's a lovely day doing here, the day.
Nice,
We've come down hoping to see if we can spot any of them gooselanders and that, like, because they're getting a bit common on here, aren't they?
I seen a couple of 2 weeks ago, was it for a walk? And they were dead close, they weren't like frightening you at all, they weren't shy you. You could see them now, like,
diving
under the water and swimming like in the bottom of the water.
That would have been a good sight, that one.
But I didn't have a camera.
Aye. We've seen quite a few pair of them as we've been walking up and doing the water this last 2 years, really. Just seen a fish jump up there. Yeah, the fishing's a bit crap in here, they're all small, little spratty things. We've never seen an otter yet. Seen a few tracks. That's about it.
It's not the best thing to have on your river, really, is it, otters? Because when there's any fish, they just like to kill them, didn't they?
Oh, they're good at getting them out.
For killing's sake.
They're a bit hard to see, but you can... A lot of little minnows.
Right. It's just in a little pool off. They must have kind of got trapped in this little bit pool off the river. Because it's like...
It's blocked in now, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it is,
like the rains what we've had over the last few weeks. This would have been risen up a little bit and they would have gotten in. You can actually see them quite nicely there.
Look over there now, there's quite a few of them being trapped in this place.
Oh, aye, they're full of them.
Shutters, yeah.
Just under this like rock ledge type place, but I'm not sure if they're otter tracks or what. I don't know the difference on them. There's a lot of tracks under here. You can get as many people under here on dogs. These are the first tracks I've seen as we'll come up. I'm just watching the dipper there, it's just dived in the water, came back out. Yeah, it's a way back in again.
Just as I was standing, I just seen it fly past us.
Aye, it's scanning under the water, coming back up, it's catching stuff. Yeah, it's got some of there.
Aye, but they've got to be past when they're young and that then that'll well be, won't it?
I didn't know because do you not remember years ago when we found one in March with big young?
Aye, but in March that's early on, but late on the year you would have thought the young that would have been gone like...
They are double and treble brooders, I think they'll nest all the time.
Right. So you reckon it's possible that they've still got big young this late in the year though?
Could. I know it's September. I can hear a nut hatch there now. Cannot see it, but I can hear it. Just keen to see where that dipper lands once it gets its fill. I can hear a couple of nut hatches. I'm not very happy about some. That's what's making all that noise behind you now.
Is that the nutmeg?
Aye.
So we're back under there. Oh, back up.
Yeah, that was quick. Looks like it's having a bath, doesn't it? The way it's splashing around in that.
I would think so, wouldn't it?
Well, we've had a good view of that one, I suppose. Right, we've come back up from the river. We're gonna go. That's where we found that baby deer this year, wasn't it? The little fawn, just in there. But we're gonna across there, cross over the road into the next part of the wood, see if we can spot out in there. It's a little bit quiet in here. It's still the back end of the summer. I thought we might have seen some. Well, we did. We've seen a dipper, a few little minnows and what. Heard a few birds. There's not a lot. It's quite quiet for it being a nice day. Right, just before we're going up, I remember that tree there, the half tree.
When it's sparrowhawks, wasn't it?
It had a sparrowhawk in the top of there.
They weren't as big, like, because it was a good while ago.
Oh, was it? It was a good while ago.
Lee climbed it, didn't he?
Aye, Lee climbed it.
Tried to take a photo.
Tried to take a picture of it, aye. You only got the side of the nest.
I didn't get the
How old? Not bad old,
Yeah. I think we're probably 25 or something.
25. Climbing trees like that. Aye, it was... I don't know, I can't remember it being that high, but it's actually...
I am saying that it was still like 20 years ago, wasn't it?
Aye, it's that tree there, because it was only half a tree in here.
Would have been a lot little, wouldn't it?
No, that tree there in the background, because it was in the top.
We never really found any of them this year, did we?
No.
The sparrowhawks?
No. We didn't come out at that time of the year, did we? Like, looking for them.
Really
last year we did look for them, and the year before we got some good shots of that one last year, so we weren't really too bothered about that. We got the young on the nest, the birds on the nest and everything. We've done well with that. Aye, so Lee, if you're watching, do you remember that? And just see something big, just beyond the holly in the field. Big red thing. It could be a pheasant.
Aye, I cannot see it.
Well, I'll try and creep on a bit. It's just doing through there. I'm not going to see it now, so no.
So you're not seeing things?
Oh no, I heard it. I seen it like running in. Don't know where it went. It's hard to see doing into there. No. It must have ran a bit further, like, because it was just in the dry stuff making loads of noise. Must have got into the soft stuff and just been nice and quiet. Yeah, we'll come to a different section of the wood. It's the old Loy Works way. That's what we used to call it, isn't it? You get the old smelly pond down here. That's what we used to call it when we were kids. We're just going to have a walk down, see if we can spot out. It's a nice day. Get a couple of little bits of video in. Right, we've come down into the path here. A bit further down in the wood. But it's like an old pine wood type of thing. But it's quite quiet. Not a bird. Well, I've just heard a wren in the distance. But as we're walking down through here, can't hear out. No birds up above where a run were. Unless there's hawks in the wood, like sparrowhawks and that sort of thing, because it is the kind of place where you'd find them. There's a lot of old nests up the trees. So there could be a lot of young sparrowhawks kicking around.
I remember that year walked in, there was a little tiny baby owl just sitting on a branch.
Was there not two of them? sitting together. There was two, like the little fluffy white ones.
Just little aye.
Aye.
They were just sitting around, maybe about 5 foot off the
Aye, they weren't very high up.
Just sitting.
They didn't even look like they had the feathers to fly, but they were up there on the branches. Aye, they were just sitting together, huddled together, through the day. Aye, but I've just heard another bird, a little robin. Second bird we've heard in this wood. For some reason it's just really quiet. We've just heard something that sounded like a woodpecker, but it's...
I think there's a woodpecker in it.
Aye. I'll keep the camera on, see if we can see it. That sounds like a woodpecker doing the bomb. Great spotted woodpecker, that's that noise.
It's the only one we get really, isn't it? It's like
aye, the green
woodpeckers, if you like, but we'll never get to see that, eh?
Aye, nah.
It a couple of times.
We did see it one year, but we didn't have a decent camera on one, did we? The green side. It's on the top of the tree. And we've just heard it in here somewhere. See if I can spot it anywhere. Canny clearance. Yeah, they're a shy bird. They would have done a shoot before we even got close to it. Yeah, we're just walking around here.
It's the one we missed when we called Cat. It's right on the path and I'll just sitting there.
Aye, those song thrushes. Hey, that's loud, that.
That's it. Across there in the Hamel part of the wood, isn't it?
Aye. Starting to hear a bit of life doing in this part of the wood. Magpies and crows and robins and woodpeckers. I've actually seen snipes in here years ago. Aye. Woodcock. Seen a couple of them. Woodcocks later on at night.
I've seen woodcocks plenty of places.
Aye. The snipes were like flying. You know,
the woodcocks you normally just end up walking past, scaring them.
Aye, they just jump out, don't they? Mm-hmm. Don't know where that's hiding down there somewhere. Let's move down the wood, it was further up. Look, we're gonna go up there, there's a field up ahead. We're gonna walk around the path that takes you around the edge there. Seems to be a lot going on up there. Looks like the sparrowhawk's had its dinner. So it looks like a pigeon, fellas. Must have just sat here and ripped it to bits. Had its fill.
You would think a pigeon would be a bit of a big bird for a sparrowhawk because there's probably not that much difference in size, is there?
No, aye. Female sparrowhawk's twice the size, wasn't it?
Oh, big, but they're still...
Not much bigger than a pigeon. I know what you mean. Aye, like a wood pigeon's a big bird, isn't it? Aye.
You think we'll get little...
Aye, littler birds. Oh, we're in a different part of the wood now. I think it was the last year we found the red kites up there, didn't we? With a big huge nest. Aye. It's reasonably quiet. I mean, can't hear many birds.
Quiet, really.
Aye. You can see something on the front of that tree up there.
What?
I don't know if it's a bird box or...
Alright.
A black thing.
Alright, it's a bat box kind of thing. It's got bats, it's got a little slot at the bottom as
well.
well.
Alright, aye. I'll turn the camera off, we'll get a bit closer.
Looks kind of big that actually. That one, no, it's not like little run, it's like sort of lang.
Yeah, you can see where it was an old woodpecker's hole years ago. I remember from 20 years ago or something.
Aye, these on the trees, yeah, they're for bats. The box is what's on the trees and that.
Aye. We've been doing a lot of conservation work around here though, haven't we? Wonder if there's any bats in
They're
there.
protected new bats, aren't they?
Aye. But there's another one. There's another one just here what's not in the sun.
I didn't realise there were so many different species of bats actually.
That's
I was
good.
watching something and there's actually now quite a lot of different ones.
Aye. We see that one a lot better. Like. Actually wonder if bees would use them. Try and see what I can see out in there. There's quite a few. There's another one there. It's one of the wild apple tree here.
There's a few on it actually, isn't there?
There's a good few on there. It's the sort of thing we used to look for when we were going fishing. Because it's still September and you can, you can go fishing at this time of the year. But it was always nice to find an apple tree on a warm day like this when you're thirsty.
When you're what, thirsty?
Aye, they quench your thirst a little bit though, didn't they?
I don't know, they're normally pretty bitter, these apples are.
Yeah, aye. Because they nearly are all water. That was in, there's a canny few on that tree. Aye. And that old beech tree there was always an owls in there. Always was. I've just never seen it for the last few years in here. I don't think there's owl in there like.
You want many some size beech tree,
No. It's still good enough for an owl. The hole. I think that's just a leaf on the front of the hole there. But there was a grey squirrel went in the top of there, didn't it? There's a hole around the back, a bit higher up, and way just on the side there you can see it. And
the top half of that tree's gone.
Aye.
Because it snapped its line doing.
That's just still on that puff bar, right? All the spores. There's a few of them, isn't there? You gonna stand on that one?
I reckon if you find them fresh, you get really big ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I reckon actually, we eat the giant
Aye.
puff bars.
Aye, that's true.
I think they're just solid how they're through now, you just put them in like steak.
I can smell that. Hey, that pond looks canny from here. This time of the year. And it was always a little shithole.
And it does look a bit better than it used to
Aye.
be.
It was a crappy little pond when we were kids, wasn't it?
Right,
You know, there's big rushes, weed things growing in it and everything.
Smelly pond, but it does
Aye.
look.
I've just seen things moving in the water there.
There was always frogs in there, wasn't there?
Frogs and newts. You'd get the newts at the back where it got filled, like there was a stream comes into the back.
I think newts are fairly rare now anyway.
Aye, I did find them one, yeah, when I was young. That's it. It's actually a canny pond, but it's a bit lifeless. Back to the gate now. Back to the car with the end of this walk for this week. But tune in again next week. Back we go.